On the 27th of August, I tweeted out a joke about Paul Pogba playing his first half hour of football in what seemed like ages. He looked alright in this match too. Not back to his best, of course, but the guy was on the pitch at the very least. Little did we know that there was more than meets the eye to all of this. Only 2 weeks later, and the man's been done for doping. This guy just can't seem to catch a break, can he? The anti-Pogba community have the fuel they've been craving to pile on, while the pro-Pogba community are hard at work with excuses. Whatever camp you're part of means little to the potential outcome of this whole thing. It's entirely possible that this man has played his last ever game at the highest level. But this opens up another debate, a true classic in the world of football, something that inevitably comes up whenever a high-profile case of banned substance use is brought up. How much performance enhancing really happens in football? Yo, what's going on everyone? Really hope you're all doing well. I'm Tinashe, welcome back to the channel. Paul Pogba really does seem to be cursed. I don't know what this guy's done in a previous life or whatever it is, but this guy's career seems to have just been on a steady decline since about 2016. Once the most expensive footballer to ever live, many thought he would be the next big thing. Unfortunately, he wasn't. After a 6-year loan spell at Man United, his return to Juve was supposed to reignite his career. It did not. Or rather, it has not. In the 22-23 season, this guy only played 161 minutes of football for 10 million euros a year. This is an unbelievable hourly rate. But why has this happened? Of course, it's a combination of things. Disciplinary reasons factor into all of this. He was dropped by Allegri prior to a Europa League match after he showed up late to a team dinner. But the main reason for all of this is the fact that his ligaments seem to be held together by chewing gum. Paul Pogba's always been injury prone, this is nothing new, but it seems as though over the past year, the deterioration of his body has reached all new heights. I mean, the guy picked up an injury during preseason only 2 weeks after he returned to Juventus. Just look at his injury record since rejoining Juve. This is not normal. He can't step off a bus without risking a serious life-altering condition. Rumor has it that the Juventus medical staff have been eating good ever since he came back. I already mentioned the money that he's on and that Juventus are paying him. The stakes are high. The pressure for him to return to the team and contribute are mounting by the day. And he hasn't exactly been endearing himself to the fans or perhaps even the Juve higher-ups, especially after posting a picture of himself on the slopes while he was supposed to be recovering. To be fair, I didn't even know LV made ski gear. All of this, along with his previous injury record, probably do a lot to explain what we've all been seeing in the news. It's pretty easy for the natural cynic in all of us to see Paul Pogba as the kind of guy that could probably benefit from a decrease in overall recovery time, increased injury prevention, an increase in lean muscle mass growth, maybe increased endurance to help him get back up to speed with the rest of his peers. What we can say for sure is Paul never wanted to break the rules. Raffaele Pimenta, the successor to Mino Raiola's agency and Paul Pogba's current agent, had this to say about the current predicament. On the 11th of September, Juventus announced that Pogba had been provisionally suspended on account of registering abnormal levels of unnaturally produced testosterone in his system. According to Gazzetta, it was a doctor friend of his that supplied him with a food supplement sourced from the US, which contained the bad stuff. Pogba and his crew had no clue that pesky testosterone was in there apparently, and even worse, Juventus were completely unaware that the man had even taken the supplement. Depending on how this plays out, punishment could be a ban of 2 to 4 years, maybe more, and Juventus could terminate his contract. This is life-altering for Pogba, it really is. It's really sad. But on the flip side, depending on who you are, you might see this as a win when it comes to PED prevention in this sport. Proof that the system works. These were the results from a random test conducted following Juve's 3-1 win against Udinese at the end of August, where Pogba was an unused sub after all. In reality, this whole ordeal brings up a subject that many people know about, but that most people choose to simply ignore. Testing for banned substances in the world of football has long been thought of as being inadequate. Arsene Wenger has been very vocal about it in the past, famously stating that he's played against several teams that had been using PEDs and that the testing overall was subpar. For such a large sport where even if you don't go all the way in any of the major competitions, your team could be playing 45 plus games per season, you'd think that there would be more cases of doping uncovered, right? Especially when you consider the overall intensity of the game and how it goes up and up each year. How quickly players seem to recover from things that used to be really crazy long-term injuries. Tests are usually done completely randomly and can often happen after matches, training sessions, even at a player's home during the season. But because of this randomness and probably the sheer quantity of players can go through long periods of no tests at all and short periods of multiple tests, which leads to even more suspicion and a lack of evidence. According to FIFA though, testing is more comprehensive than it ever has been. In the lead up to the 2022 World Cup, every player that participated was subject to at least one test. 2,846 tests were conducted in the lead up to the tournament, and 5 players were given lengthy bans ranging from 18 months to 4 years. In 2015, over 32,000 doping tests were performed by FIFA in football worldwide. Only 78 samples, or 0.24% of those tests, returned positive for banned substances. Shockingly low. Football has no doping problem. In 2007, FIFA magazine published that there were approximately 113,000 professional footballers on the planet. I couldn't find their exact quoted number for 2015, but in 2021, FIFA reported that there were roughly 130,000 professional footballers in the world. So you can do the math. I guess the 2015 number falls in between. 32,000 tests, huh? I guess only 1 in 4 players really needs to be tested, right? Also, bear in mind that these 32,000 tests don't necessarily equate to 32,000 people. For example, one player could get his blood and urine taken, which equates to 2 samples, 2 tests. An example of the randomness of the tests involves Gareth Bale and Trent Alexander-Arnold after the 2018 Champions League final. Alexander-Arnold confirmed that the two were dragged into the back rooms of the stadium for testing after Bale scored twice to secure the win. Trent said that they didn't talk much. I get that. It was probably a little awkward. There's more to be said about what goes into the bodies of professional footballers and athletes for that matter, but there's probably even more to be said about what's been overlooked. According to Der Spiegel, Sergio Ramos tested positive to a banned substance after the 2017 Champions League final. Now, this particular substance is actually allowed before matches if accompanied by a thorough medical report and reasoning while the doping test is being done. It was not. The test results were deemed to be due to an administrative error and were swept under the rug. No punishment. Madrid won that year. In 2017, Cristiano Ronaldo apparently infamously meddled with the testing process of UEFA officials during a training session at Madrid. Only 2 out of the 10 players that were chosen had been tested before there was so much tension that the Madrid doctors had to intervene and carry out the remainder of the tests themselves. Kinda defeats the purpose of testing neutrality, right? I don't want it to seem like I'm picking on Real Madrid here. There have been tons of cases of reported alleged performance enhancing, and there will be tons more in the future. We will all have to take drugs to survive the demands of domestic, European, and international fixtures. Some footballers already do. I know that. Emmanuel Petit, World Cup winner and Arsenal legend, said this back in 1999. These days, we rarely hear about doping cases in football, or at the very least, at the highest level. And when we do, the reasoning behind why these banned substance traces are found in these guys are always kinda weird. Mamadou Sakho and Kolo Touré were both caught and banned for taking fat burner pills. Although, to be fair to Sakho, his ruling was overturned when it was found that the substance in question should not have been on the banned list. Andre Onana was banned for 9 months after taking his wife's medication. He mistook it for an aspirin. To be fair to Onana, even though the substance that he took was banned, it was deemed to not really have any sporting benefit. So it's believable that he meant no malice. He was banned anyway. Rio Ferdinand missed a drug test back in 2003 because he simply forgot that the tester was on site and waiting for him to finish training. In his own words, a guy came to the training ground to do drug tests and I forgot that he was there and went out for lunch. I looked at my messages and realized I'd missed it. I said I was coming back, but they'd already left and it all kicked off from there, really. I'd like to remind everyone that the supplement that Pogba took was given to him by a doctor, yet apparently he was unaware that there was a banned substance within it. It's all very odd. All of these instances resulted from mistakes. Very rarely do you get, yeah, this guy cheated and that's the end of it. Seldom. Because why would you want to be associated with something like this? Are footballers doping? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it'll all come out one day. maybe it won't. If we are to believe the Emmanuel Petits of the world, I doubt anyone is in any rush to do anything about it. And there we have it. Let me know what you guys think about Paul Pogba and this crazy taboo topic. All the links to the socials are in the description. That's all for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're having a great day. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.